You're welcome back. This is Business Morning. We're coming to you live from Channels Television, broadcasting from Lagos. We now begin our conversation on the program, which is Nigeria's automobile policy, and we've been joined by the Director General of the Council, that's Nigeria Automotive Council, Mr. Jalal Aminu, here on the program. Thank you for coming on the program. And I would like to tell our viewers that you can send in your tweets at Biz Morning. You may have one or two questions to ask, and we'll be glad to have them answered by Mr. Jalal Aminu concerning issues around the automotive policy. Thank you once again. We're going to start on this note. Let's know the level of the implementation of this policy.
Well, the implementation has been going very well. It has exceeded our expectations. Nissan, Hyundai, Kia, Fujo vehicles have been assembled. Shakmal trucks just started being assembled at for a Mercedes plant at Anemco. And next year we hope companies like Globe Motors they're already building their factory. They will start sometime next year to assemble vehicles, also including Costaris, FAW trucks and Action trucks. All these are expected next year. The global OEMs, the well-known ones like Volkswagen, Honda, Toyota, Renault, and Ford are conducting feasibility studies, and we hope at least 2 of them will start operations next year.
Okay, there's still some level of misunderstanding on the tariffs, and this has created some kind of concerns and even controversies in the past. I would like you to just clear the air as to talk about it again. I know we've been talking about this issue before now, but let's still talk about it in trying to simplify everything and explain to our viewers how this works.
Well, the tariffs are at many levels. CKD, SKD, for assembly operations are at 0 duty, and 5% and 10% depending on their complexities. Then those who are already in the program, who have signed into assembly vehicles and so on, will import commercial vehicles at 20% duty and cars at 35% duty. It is only those who just import and sell who will now import at 35% for commercial vehicles, and then 35% plus 35% levy for cars.
Okay. Let's know the number of vehicles, because I know that some of this assembly plants are already started putting together some cars or even trucks. How many do you think have been produced? I don't know if you have the figures right now.
We just an estimate. We estimate about 5,000. They actually plan to produce 15,000. But what really happened is that because there was a delay in the implementation of the policy to July 1, and people knew these tariffs are coming. So there was massive importation from January to June. In fact, the figures we have from the Post Authority shows the importation was over 20% higher than similar figures last year. So there's a glut in the market. So because of that, the assembly plants could not produce what they planned to. But we are hoping by next year, when this glut of vehicles will start to ease, then the assembly plants should produce more. They're definitely more. They are ready to produce more, depending on what they can sell.
Okay, but do you think that they would have actually sold off all of these vehicles by that time? I want to believe that next year is when hopefully we'll begin to use made in Nigeria cars.
We're already using them.
Oh, well, for those who have not been using them, for those who still have imported cars, used cars, but do you think that they would have actually sold them off?
We're expecting by March, April, I think this stock will have gone.
So there are no more importation of used cars right now?
Right now, people are really, because of, again, we deferred the levy on the used cars, so they are coming again. So it takes some time before, we mentioned earlier in the program, it's true, the levies for used cars have been deferred until 31st of December this year. So because of that, again, there's another massive importation. The whole idea why this different is that government do not want at the very beginning to have a sharp rise in prices, because it will turn people against the levy. And we want to match the full implementation of the levy with production from the assembly plant. So it's a bit of a balancing act.
Okay. Well, I'd like to know the tariffs, or rather the incentives that you're giving to those who are coming to assemble or build assembly plants in Nigeria to make cars.
The equipment is, they don't pay any duty on the equipment for the assembly operations. And then for every one vehicle they assemble, for the first 2 years, they can import 2 at concessionary duty.
All right. I'd like you to hold the thought for a minute. We're going to be listening to one of the car dealers. I think that they had, actually the president of the Motor Dealers Association is Benjamin Ogumo, and more like a comment on what's going on in the automotive industry. Let's listen to him.
You have a dealer to sell. You don't produce and sell. They produce and they go to company, they go to government to sell. No, you produce as a producer, like what other Intramoto and others, Japan, they produce, they sell to the public. They have a distributor, they have a dealer. But what they are doing this time, what we are trying to stop, that they cannot produce and sell. So until when we're able to reach that stage, that's why you see the vehicles are not outside.
Also, Benjamin Ogumo, the president of Motor Dealers Association, trying to react to some of these cars that have been made here in the country. What's your take on what he just said?
Well, actually, we agree with him. Vehicle assembly plants should sell through distributors. They should not sell themselves. Okay. But we understand this happens because their volumes are low. When you are doing 2,000 vehicles a year, 3,000 vehicles a year, so you may not necessarily, even if you appoint distributors, there will not be many. But by the time we are hoping soon they will reach 10,000, 50,000 vehicles a year, obviously they will have to appoint distributors. And we've been telling them that they need to appoint distributors all over Nigeria who can sell and service their products. Because if they sell themselves, it means the sale will be limited to within maybe the town or nearby towns where they operate. So we are working with them, with the Association Motor Dealers Association, to ensure that the vehicle assembly plants appoint distributors, train their personnel to maintain these vehicles, and supply them with spare parts. Now,
do you think that there could be concern that this motor assembly plants owners, do you think that it could be concern about price hike if they have to go through some kind of dealership with distributors? Because I want to believe there's a cap on the amount that vehicles can be sold for now. Maybe 2 million naira vehicle, 5 million naira. Would that increase the prices of those vehicles if they go through dealership?
Normally a dealer's margin. Dealer's margin roughly varies, but I think it's roughly around 10% of the dealer's margin. And people who buy direct from the assembly plants normally have this discount. So it will not change any price.
Okay, I just want to know, I was reading in the papers a few days ago trying to talk about those who have been importing used cars, that's used car dealers in the country, may now begin to sell made in Nigeria cars. But how soon would that be? Going by the volume that has been produced right now, and the fact that some of those vehicles have been imported, that's the used cars, could still be in stock.
Yes, we hope by sometime next year. In fact, we have been having a meeting with the dealers, the association, in particular, with the president and also the assembly plants, to see how we can help transition used car dealers to new car dealers so that they will not lose their jobs. But we are hoping, even when we produce in full in Nigeria, we still have used cars being sold. But we are hoping they will be generated locally, not imported.
Okay, I just want to know the criteria to become a dealer, because I know that there could be some kind of requirements for motor dealers to be distributors of made in Nigeria cars, trying to work in line with those who are assembling them.
Well, it varies from plant to plant, but essentially you have to have a space where you can park the vehicles. 2, you must have a workshop. You must have some mechanics who will be trained by the assembler. And you must have where you can stock spare parts. So we're working to assist these dealers. Some will assist them financially to see that they can upgrade their operations to become dealers for the assembly plants. Others may have to form like a cooperative because their operations are very small. They may not on their own upgrade to that level, but we can assist them to form cooperatives, and then they become dealers to the assembly plants.